Developer updates. News from developers world.
Kotlin is one of the top programming language of 2017. Let's know about why Kotlin is good. Kotlin compiles to JVM bytecode or JavaScript. It is of greatest interest to people who work with Java today, although it could appeal to all programmers who use a garbage-collected runtime, including people who currently use Scala, Go, Python, Ruby, and JavaScript. Kotlin comes from industry. It solves problems faced by working programmers today. As an example, the type system helps you avoid null pointer exceptions. Research languages tend to just not have null at all. Kotlin costs nothing to adopt. It's open source, but that's not what I mean here. There are high-quality, one-click Java to Kotlin converter tools available, and a strong focus on Java binary compatibility taken care of. You can convert an existing Java project one file at a time and everything will still compile, even for complex programs that run to millions of lines of code. This is how developers are adopting Kotlin. As an obvious implication of the above, Kotlin programs can use all existing Java frameworks and libraries, even advanced frameworks that rely on annotation processing. The interop is seamless and does not require wrappers or adapter layers. It integrates with Maven, Gradle and other build systems. It is approachable and it can be learned in a few hours by simply reading the language reference. The syntax is lean and intuitive. Kotlin looks a lot like Scala, but is simpler. The language balances terseness and readability well. It enforces no particular philosophy of programming, such as overly functional or OOP styling. It imposes no runtime overhead. The standard library is small and tight. It consists mostly of focused extensions to the Java standard library. Heavy use of compile-time inlining means functional constructs like pipelines of map/filter/reduce compile similarly to an imperative version of the same code. Combined with the appearance of frameworks like Anko and Covenant, this resource lightness means Kotlin has started becoming popular with Android developers. Kotlin allows you to keep using your productivity-enhancing tools. If you use IntelliJ, IDE interop is entirely seamless, code can be refactored, searched, navigated and auto-completed as if the Kotlin code was Java and vice versa. There is full support for debugging, unit testing, profiling and so on. Kotlin has many useful features that make writing code in it pleasant. We already mentioned null safety, optionality, that lets the compiler systematically flag potential null pointer dereferences. Unlike some languages, this does not involve an option type and is therefore zero overhead. Other language features ensure it's not inconvenient. Lean syntax, type inference works everywhere, one-liner functions take one line, simple structs, Java beans can also be declared in one line. Real properties generate getFoo, setFoo methods behind the scenes for Java interop. Functions can exist outside of classes. Exceptions are unchecked. Adding the date and annotation to a class triggers auto-generation of boilerplate like equals, hash code, toString, a copy method and variable spreading support, destructuring. This gives you convenient immutable classes without the need for builders. But if you do need to construct complex structures, a clever intersection of language features makes builders clean and type-safe, read, auto-completable. If you use Google Protocol buffers to store structured data, that gets easier too. Functional programming support with zero overhead lambdas and ability to do mapping, folding etc. over standard Java collections. The Kotlin type system distinguishes between mutable and immutable views over collections. Extension functions let you add methods to classes without modifying their source code. This looks at first like a superficial bit of syntax sugar to avoid feudal-style classes. Then you realize that doing it this way enables you to easily discover the new methods via auto-completion, lets you build powerful language extensions and lets you integrate existing Java APIs with other Kotlin features. Features like operator overloading. But the good kind, no Scala, Perl-style line noise here. Operators map to special method names, so can override the behavior of the existing operators, including function invocation, but you cannot define entirely new ones. This strikes a balance between power and readability. Kotlin does not have macros or other ways to redefine the language, but a collection of carefully designed features allow for libraries that act like language extensions far more than they act like collections of objects. Markdown instead of HTML for your API docs. This makes writing Java docs much more pleasant. The Docket tool, which is the equivalent of JavaDoc, can read both Kotlin and Java source code and generate combined doc websites, both with its own style and also in the standard Java doc HTML style. Better generics. If you never fully got to grips with what exactly super and extends mean when put inside a type variable, don't worry, it's not you. Java's generics really are just confusing. Kotlin fixes it. That's all for Kotlin. For more developer world updates, do subscribe.